Welcome to all of you to the chapter number 5, Human Capital Formation. A brief introduction about human capital formation in India. One of the major factors that has made a great difference in the evolution of mankind is his capacity to store and transmit knowledge. What does it mean? Man has become the crown of creation in the evolution of earth is because of he has the capacity to store the knowledge, skill, experiences, all these he can store, as well as he can transmit this skill, knowledge, experience to the next generation. He can pass on his knowledge to others through songs, elaborate lectures in the class, and other modes of sharing like painting, coloring, or cutting, or different forms of art. He can transmit the knowledge from one to other. But at the same time, pass on, it was found that a proper training and skills are needed to do things efficiently. To transmit, to train, or to transfer the skills, you require a thing called efficiency. So thus, the government as well as the private wants to invest in the human capital formation. Galbraith says, it is not the industries will contribute to the economic growth, but investment in capital of human beings. So it is the investment in men that brings improvement in the economic growth. So that brings economic growth. Investment in industries does not bring much on economic growth, but surely investment in men will bring economic growth, is the words of Galbraith. So from here, if you just analyze and see what is human capital is, let us discuss. We have seen land. We call this as physical resource. This land can be converted into a farmland for agriculture or a factory. That is a physical capital. So physical resource, land, has been converted into physical capital called factory. Likewise, human resource or the population, a normal human being, is being converted into doctor, engineer, lawyer, teacher, etc. This is called human capital. An ordinary human being becomes a professional or extraordinary human being in his profession is called as human capital. The process of converting is called as human capital formation. So therefore, people have themselves educated and trained to become professionals and professors. They have become themselves professionals. This knowledge has to be transmitted to others. This human capital has to be increased. So, a human being has to get educated or get knowledge or get transmission of skill, experience. Thus, he is becoming human capital. A human capital multitude of human capital can be brought. From human capital, you can increase the human capital. This process is called as human capital formation. Thus, we need to invest on human capital to produce more of human capital out of human resource available. We have plenty of human beings, a population. Convert this human population into a human resource with the help of human capital. Because human capital means a person who has possessed knowledge, skill, etc., who has become a professional than ordinary person. Thus, what is the meaning of human capital? First of all, what is the meaning of human capital? This is a 1-mark question. It refers to skill, knowledge, and experience. 3 things: skill, knowledge, and experience possessed by an individual or gained by an individual or a group of people or a group of individuals or a population, viewed in terms of their value. So the skill, the knowledge, everything can be judged, possessed by an individual can be judged with the value, how much they gain, how much income they gain to an organization or the country, how much they gain in their country, and how much they spend to gain that knowledge is also calculated. So, viewed in terms of their value, how much value they have acquired, or the cost to an organization, or how much is the cost for a family or to an organization or to a country to acquire the skill, the knowledge, experience. Very simply to state, an ordinary human being to get skill, knowledge, and experience in a country, and how much is the cost of it, is called as human capital. In other words, human capital refers to the stock of skill, knowledge, and experience embodied in the ability of human beings to perform labor and create economic value. It is a stock of knowledge, skill, and experience embodied. Embodied means possessed or had or gained by a human being. This ability of skill, knowledge, everything is helped to perform various works, that is labor, and this various works gives him economic returns, that is called as create economic gains, so in the form of income. So a knowledgeable person can increase the number of people who can gain knowledge. From one person, different people gain knowledge, skill, everything. This is called as human capital formation. So therefore, human capital formation is the process of acquiring, the process of getting, the process of changing, the process of increasing the number of persons who have skill, knowledge, experience, which are critical. Why they are required, why we have to increase is they are critical for economic and political development of a country. So, one engineer develops more number of engineers. One lawyer develops more number of lawyers. One doctor multiplies more number of doctors. A teacher multiplies more number of teachers too. A professional increases the number of professionals. It is said that a person acquires knowledge, he transmits that knowledge to others, so thus the number of people possess the same skill and the knowledge and the experience will be increased. If this number increased, there will be surely economic development and political development. Therefore, this is very, very critical for every economic development. A country has to develop means it is not the money or the richness that makes the country develop. Rather, the people, knowledge, skill, the stock of people, the group of people, the number of people who possess this knowledge and skill and experience must be multitude or increased. Then only we can have more number of economic development. So, it is said that human resource like student is converted into human capital like engineer, doctor, teacher, manager, accountant, etc. A country need good human capital like professionals to produce other human capitals like technicians, doctors, engineers, teachers, accountants, etc. This means that we need investment on human capital to produce more human capital out of the human resource. So, out of human resource, to create more human capital, we require human capital. What are the objectives of studying human capital formation? Why should we study? For four purposes we study this human capital formation. What are the sources of human capital? What are the sources? The next question what we are going to study is what are the sources of human capital formation? Is there any relation between human capital and economic growth of a country? Is the formation of human capital linked to man's all-round development, or as it is now called human development? What role can government play in human capital formation in India? So, we see all these four objectives in the coming video. So before that, we see the difference between human capital and human development. Usually, almost similar, but in economics, both are identified as a thin air of difference. Let us see that human capital treats education and health as a means to increase human capital. So, human capital is a narrow concept, therefore. It is only to increase the capacity to produce more. So, it is to increase the productivity of man. So, productivity of man is to increase the productivity of labor. Education and health are treated only for that. So, more health, more education, more money I can acquire. That is only the productivity. I can produce more. Whereas human development is a broader concept because education and health brings an all-round development of human beings. He will be more ethical person, more quality person. He will improve the quality of the society. Therefore, health and education is not to increase the productivity of himself, but the productivity of the entire society and entire nation. So, second one, human capital treats human being as a means to end. Means to end. So, education and health is the two things that helps him to increase the productivity. Human beings as a means to increase the end. The end being increase the productivity. So, human being is to only to produce more and more to increase the production or the productivity. But here, the human development treats human being as end to themselves. End to themselves means he or a human being is to increase the society's welfare, a nation's welfare. He works for the all-round development of the society, not just a productivity. He makes the society into a moral and ethical and a strong quality-based life. Therefore, human development is a broader concept. It includes not only productivity, increase of productivity, increase the quality of life. Therefore, human capital is only just concerned towards increasing the productivity or the production. That's all. Thus, two things are different indeed. Next one, sources of human capital formation. So, investment, or you can call it as expenditure on education, investment and expenditure on health, investment and expenditure on job training, investment and expenditure on migration, investment or expenditure on information. So it is an expenditure on education, expenditure on health, expenditure on the job training, expenditure on migration, expenditure on information. This is again a 2 marks question. Here, there are various 1 and 2 marks questions are discussed. First one, the meaning of human capital. Second one, the 2 mark question, human capital formation. Third, difference between human capital and human development. And the fourth one, 2 mark question, sources of human capital formation. The entire discussion will be on various 4 marks, 2 and 6 marks questions on sources of human capital formation. We will see in the coming video.